Good morning, all of you. Welcome to the Jendra Rank Zone. Today we are going to discuss all the numericals, different types of numericals in chemical kinetics, and also we'll discuss the summary of the chapter. Since this chapter is very important for each and every competitive exams, we are going to get definitely one question. So that's why I want to discuss all the important models in this chapter. So far we have completed the lecture part, that is the explanation part of this total chapter. So now we are going to discuss the chemical kinetics, problems on chemical kinetics. So in this chapter, what are the important problems we are going to get that we are going to discuss now? So coming to, let us see now, all the important models I have covered. So this type of questions are most important. First question, for a reaction, K of T plus 10 by KT, either capital T or small t, we can use both, is equal to X. When temperature is increased from 10 to 100 degrees Celsius, so it is increased from 10 to 100 degrees Celsius, the rate constant increased by a factor of 512. So then what is the value of X? Means they are asking the temperature coefficient factor for rate constant. So they are asking temperature coefficient factor. Temperature coefficient factor. So what is this temperature coefficient factor? It is nothing but K of T plus 10 by KT is equal to 2 actually. As we already know, for every 10 degrees C rise of temperature, for every 10 degrees C rise of temperature, the rate of reaction doubles, or the rate constant doubles. So based on this concept, first we have to see whether it is satisfying this 2 or not. So let us see temperature 10 to 100 degrees C. So 10 to 100 means it is from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So it is almost 9 times. So if you take 2 power 9, so if you take 2 power 9, it is equal to 512. So it is nothing but as it is increasing 9 times, it is doubled for 9 times. So 2 power 9 is 512. So they have given 512. So the value of X is 2. So answer is fourth option. So we have to check like this. So from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. So how many times it is increased total? 9 times. 9 times it is nothing but 2 power 9 if you take. Then it is nothing but what? It is equal to, sorry, it is equal to 512. So answer is 2. I hope it is clear. So this is based on temperature coefficient. So always we have to check how many degrees Celsius it is increased. So from 10 degrees to 100 degrees. It increased from what? 10 degrees C to 100 degrees C, or 10 kelvins to 100 kelvins. But anyway, degrees C and Kelvin temperature both is equal. Just only the values are different, but the rise is same. So we can take from 10 to 100 means it is almost coming 9 times. So if we take 2 power 9, so if it is coming to, as it is coming 512, so the temperature coefficient is 2. Suppose if we take 3 power 9, if it is coming 512, then the answer is 3. But here 2 power 9 is 512. So the answer is 2. So that is called temperature coefficient of the reaction. So answer is 2. So fourth option. I hope it is clear. Now coming to second question. So in the graph drawn between log k and 1 by t, the intercept equals 2. So we already know the graph drawn between log k versus 1 by t based on Arrhenius equation. Log k versus 1 by t. The intercept is log a. So the intercept is what? Log A, that is called Arrhenius factor. So answer is second option. So based on Arrhenius equation, what is Arrhenius equation? Log K is equal to log A minus EA, energy of activation, by 2.303 RT is the equation. So 2.303 RT. So this is called Arrhenius equation since already we know. So log K is equal to log A minus energy of activation by 2.303 R into T, where R is called gas constant, T is called temperature. So if you plot a curve between log K versus 1 by T, the answer is log A. The intercept is equal to log A, that is called Arrhenius factor. So I hope it is clear. So this is second number, question number 2. Now third question. According to the collision theory of reaction rates, the activation energy is, according to the collision theory of reaction rates, the activation energy is called the energy gained by the molecule on colliding with the other molecules, the energy that molecule should possess in order to undergo reaction, the energy it should possess so that it can enter into an effective collision, and the energy it has to acquire so that it can enter into an effective collision. It has to acquire because energy of activation will not be there, it has to acquire. They are giving here third option. The energy it should possess means they will not possess. After collision only they will acquire this energy. So acquiring and possessing both are different. So I hope it is clear. So next, the energy molecule should possess in order to undergo reaction. The energy gained by the molecule on colliding with other molecules. So this is not a correct answer. So answer is only fourth option. So the answer is what? The energy it has to acquire so that it can enter into an effective collision is called energy of activation. So I hope it is clear. So next question. Consider an endothermic reaction. Question number 4. Consider endothermic. Here underline the word endothermic because endothermic means delta H is positive. What is delta H? How to calculate delta H? Delta H is equal to energy of activation of forward reaction minus energy of activation of backward reaction. So this is called delta H, energy of activation of forward reaction, energy of activation of backward reaction for this reaction. With the energy of activation energies EB and EF. EB is called backward reaction and EF is called for the backward and forward reactions respectively. They are given EB and EF, and we have taken the formula EA minus EA1. Both are the same. So in general, so what is the endothermic reaction? Delta H should be positive. Delta H should be positive means what? Definitely energy of activation of forward reaction is greater than energy of activation of backward reaction, or EB is less than EF. EB is less than EF. Then only delta H becomes positive. So then only it can become endothermic reaction. So answer is first option. So EB is less than EF. That is nothing but what? Energy of activation of backward reaction should be less than energy of activation of forward reaction. If it is greater, then it becomes delta H becomes negative. So that is exothermic reaction, not endothermic reaction. I hope it is clear. So in this way, they'll ask the questions in NEET level also. Next question. In the equilibrium reaction, A plus B gives rise to C plus D. The activation energy for the forward reaction is 25 kilocalories per mole. So they are given E of A, activation energy of forward reaction is equal to 25 kilocalories per mole. Similarly, energy of activation of backward reaction is equal to given how much? For the backward reaction is 15 kilocalories per mole. 15 kilocalories per mole. And what they're asking now, which one of the following statement is correct? It is an exothermic process, it is an endothermic process, it is a reaction for which delta H is equal to 0, and it is a sublimation process. So let us take first delta H is equal to energy EF minus EB. So EF is equal to, given already we know, 25, and EB is 15. So it is equal to plus 10. Plus 10 means delta H is positive. So delta H is positive means it is an endothermic process. So answer is second option. I hope it is clear. So you'll get the questions like this, very, very important. All the important modes I have covered. Next question. dC by dt of a first order reaction depends upon. dC by dt of a first order reaction depends upon. So dC by dt of a first order reaction depends on time, concentration, temperature, all. So dC by dt is nothing but what? Differentiation with respect to time. That is rate of reaction. So rate of reaction is depending on time, concentration, temperature. So answer is all. So answer is what? All. All is the answer for this because it is depending on time, differentiation of concentration by dt. That is with respect to time, concentration, temperature, and time. I hope it is clear. Next question. 2A gives us to B plus C. For the reaction 2A gives us to B plus B would be zero order if when the rate of reaction is, since already we know for a zero order reaction, here I'm writing clearly, for a zero order reaction, the rate of reaction is independent of concentration of reactant. The rate of reaction is independent, very, very important here, because independent of concentration of the reactant. So for any zero order reaction, the rate of reaction is independent of concentration of reactant. So R is proportional to concentration of A to the power 0 for a zero order reaction. So here it is 2A. 2A means number of moles will be 2. Even though it is 2A, if it is independent of change of concentration of A, then we can say the answer is 3, because it is not depending on products only. Always the rate of reaction is depending only on the reactant, since already we know the rate of reaction is always depending on the reactant. And in first zero order reaction, the rate of reaction is independent of concentration of reactant. It is independent of concentration of reactant. I hope it is clear. So answer is third option, independent of change of concentration of A, because A is only the reactant. Next question. In the reaction 2A plus B gives rise to products, the order with respect to A is found to be 1. Very, very important. This type of questions are most important. So they're asking us, in the reaction 2A gives us 2A plus B. So in the reaction 2A plus B gives us to products. The order with respect to A, the order with respect to A is found to be 1, and with respect to B is equal to 2. So they are given with respect to A, means R is proportional to A to the power of 1. R is proportional to A to the power of 1 and B to the power of 2. If the concentration of A is doubled and that of B is halved, A is doubled, rate also doubles, and B is halved, rate decreases by 4 times. Then the rate of reaction will be, so it will be doubled, halved, remain unaffected, and it is 4 times. Let us see the answer now. Let us solve this question. Very, very important, this type of questions. So here they have given the order with respect to, so if A is doubled, so with respect to A is found to be 1 and with respect to B is equal to 2. If the concentration of A is doubled, rate increases by 2 times. A is doubled, rate increases by 2 times. And what happens to, sorry, rate increases by 2 times. A is doubled. So it also increases by 2 times. And if the concentration of B is halved and rate is proportional to B to the power of 2, B to the power of 2. And if the rate is halved, so the B is halved means A is decreasing by 4 times. So rate decreases by 4 times. And here it is increasing 2 times. It is increasing how many times? In case of A, it is increasing 2 times. So R is proportional to, in case of B, it is 4 times, decreases by 4 times, decreases by 4 times. And with respect to A, it is increasing by 2 times. So on the whole, it is increasing 2 times and it is decreasing 4 times. So it is equal to half. It is equal to half. So in this way you have to solve this question. Even you can solve it more clearly also. So answer is half, because you can solve this question like this also. For example, consider R is proportional to concentration of A to the power 1. And if rate is doubled, if A is doubled, automatically R becomes doubled. So 2R is proportional to A to the power of 2. Similarly, R is proportional to B to the power of 2. So if B is decreased to half, that is B to the power 1 by 2, then R becomes 1 by 4. R is proportional to R by 4. So it is decreasing 4 times here, it is increasing 2 times. So on the whole, it is taking half. So answer is half. I hope it is clear. Next question. The slowest step of a particular reaction is found to be half x2 plus y2. The slowest step for a particular reaction is found to be half x2 plus y2 gives us to xy2. The order of the reaction is half x2 plus y2 they have given. So this becomes half and this becomes 1. So 1 plus 0.5, this becomes 1.5. So answer becomes 1.5 because in the slowest step, two molecules are involved. But here, 1.5 molecules involved. How many? Always slowest step is called slowest step. Slowest step is called rate determining step. Rate determining step, and it is the rate is equal to, in this case the rate is equal to, in this case the rate is equal to number of reactant molecules. Rate is equal to number of reactant molecules. So in this case, the reactant molecule is equal to, so here it is one molecule and here it is half molecule. So 1 plus half, that is 1.5. So it is answer is 1.5. I hope it is clear. Very, very important question. Always slowest step is called the rate determining step. And in that case, rate is equal to number of reactant molecules. Only reactant molecules. In this, the reactant molecules is x2 plus y2. And x2, it is only half. And y2 is equal to 1. So 1 molecule. So answer is 1 plus half, it becomes 1.5. So I hope it is clear. So like these questions are very important for examination point of view. Next question. What are the units of the rate constant of a reaction in which the half-life is doubled by halving the initial concentration of reactants? So here they are asking half-life is doubled by half the initial concentration of reactant. So definitely it should be second order. So it becomes mole inverse, second inverse, because the order is 2 for this reaction. Order is 2 because why it is order is 2, in which the half-life is doubled by halving, because for half-life for T half for second order reaction is equal to A by 2K. T half for second order reaction is equal to how much? A by 2K. So A is initial concentration 2 into K. So half, exactly half-life is doubled by halving the initial concentration of the reactant. So A by 2K. So answer is mole inverse, sorry, molarity inverse, second inverse. This is the answer. Or you can say moles per liter. Actually, molarity is moles per liter. So mole inverse, liter, second inverse. This is the answer. I hope it is clear. So answer is what? So units of all the order of reactions is also very, very important. Next question. The rate law for a reaction between the substances A and B is given by rate is equal to K into A to the power of M, B to the power of N. Alpha, beta, anything is same, because rate is always proportional to concentration of the reactants raised to the stoichiometric proportional, stoichiometric coefficients. Concentration of the reactants raised to the stoichiometric coefficients. On doubling the concentration of A and half the concentration of B, means by decreasing half of the concentration of B, the ratio of the new rate to the earlier rate of the reaction will be. So doubling the rate of reaction means it becomes 2 per M is increasing 2 times. So 2 per M, and half the concentration of D means M minus N. So this is M minus N, 2 power M minus N. This becomes how much? So answer becomes 2 power M minus N. 2 power M minus N. Why? Because I'm writing it here again, 2 power M minus N. Because on doubling the concentration of A and decreasing the concentration of B by half, doubling the concentration of A becomes 2M, and decreasing concentration of half means minus 1 by 2N. So 2 power M minus N. By taking common 2 power M minus N. So answer is 2 power M minus N. This type of questions are most important. So all the important models, actually we have done tough models in the while I'm explaining. Now we are doing basic questions so that you can understand easily. Not only you can understand, you should not leave the basic questions also. So next, the rate of reaction. Next, it is 11th question. 11th question is there. We have finished 11th question. Now 12th question. So what is 10th question also? Let us check. Maybe I have skipped it. Yes, 10th we have done, 11th we have done. Next 12th question. The rate of formation of sulfur trioxide in the reaction 2SO2 plus O2 gives us 2SO3 is 100 grams per minute. Hence, the rate of disappearance of oxygen is, they are asking rate of disappearance of oxygen. So for this, we have to write the rate equation. So rate equation, how to write rate equation for a given reaction? Since oxygen and sulfur dioxide are gases, for this reaction we can write minus 1 by 2 differentiation of concentration of sulfur dioxide by dt is equal to is equal to minus differentiation of oxygen by dt, which is also equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 differentiation of sulfur trioxide by dt, concentration of sulfur trioxide by dt. This is the rate equation. Now they're asking the rate of formation of sulfur trioxide in the reaction is 100 grams per minute. So 100 grams per minute. Hence the rate of disappearance of oxygen is, since they have given mass here, very, very important. They have not given concentration, they have given mass. And in these two, what is the relation? They are asking about these two. So minus sign only for decreasing concentration, but we write, so only they are asking this thing. So already we know minus differentiation of oxygen by dt, concentration of dt is equal to 1 by 2 differentiation of sulfur trioxide by dt. But most important point is here they have not given the concentration, they have given mass. So mass per time. So we know concentration is equal to concentration, molarity is equal to number of moles by volume of solution in liters into 1000 by 1, or simply number of moles by volume of solution in liters, or into 1000. We can write in liters. I'll write in liters so that it will be easy for us. So volume of solution in liters. And how to find number of moles? Number of moles is equal to weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1 by V. Weight by molecular weight. So by this we can say molarity is proportional to molecular weight and it is inversely proportional to, molarity is proportional to weight of the substance and inversely proportional to molecular weight. So taking that into consideration, we have to work out the numerical like this. So weight by molecular weight, molarity is proportional to weight by molecular weight. Let us take the weight of sulfur trioxide is 100 by molecular weight of sulfur trioxide is sulfur 32 plus oxygen 48. 32 plus 48 is equal to how much? So weight of sulfur trioxide is 32 plus 48 is equal to 80. So 100 by 80. This is the concentration. Volume anyway we have not given. So where molarity is proportional to 100 by 80. That is concentration of sulfur trioxide by dt. 1 by 2 means we have to multiply with 1 by 2 is equal to concentration of differentiation of oxygen by dt. What is the value of oxygen here? So I'm taking new page. So differentiation of oxygen by dt. So again I will do it clearly. So in this case the rate expression is, again I'm writing here. So since the place is not there, let us see. Since the place is not there, we are writing here clearly. Again please see it. So minus differentiation of oxygen by dt is equal to plus 1 by 2 differentiation of sulfur trioxide by dt. This is called rate of formation of sulfur trioxide. This is called rate of disappearance of oxygen. Now they are asking rate of disappearance of oxygen. But the problem is here they have given 100 grams per minute. They have not given concentration. If they have given concentration directly, you can do it easily. But they are not given. So we can write for oxygen, we can write what is the molecular weight of oxygen. So weight of oxygen X by molecular weight of oxygen is 32, we already know, is equal to plus 1 by 2 differentiation of sulfur trioxide. Weight of sulfur trioxide is how much? That is equal to 100 by molecular weight of sulfur trioxide is 80. So by solving this, you'll get the answer. How we got this? Because The concentration molarity is, that is concentration is proportional to weight by molecular weight, because it is proportional to number of moles. So weight by molecular weight, we have to consider definitely the molecular weight also, because molarity is proportional to weight by molecular weight. Since concentration is not given, so weight by molecular weight we have to take into consideration. So weight of sulfur trioxide is 100 given, and molecular weight is already we know, sulfur is 32, oxygen is 16, sulfur is 32, oxygen is 16, and 3 oxygens are there. So it is equal to 48. So 32 plus 48 is equal to 80. So molecular weight of sulfur trioxide is 80. Molecular weight of oxygen is 32. So X by 32 is equal to plus 1 by 2 into 100 by 80, because they are asking number of rate of disappearance of oxygen means 32 will go this side. So by solving this, you'll get the answer. So let us check the answer now. 32 into 100, 0, 0 gets cancelled here, and 2 here 5 times. So that is 32 into 5 by 8. How much it is? X is equal to 32 into 5 divided by 8. So by this we can write X is equal to 32. This 32 will go this side. 32 into 5 by 8. So it is equal to 160 by 8, which is equal to 20. So 20 grams per minute is the answer. So we have to consider, since they have not given concentration, this type of question is very, very important. Since they have not given concentration, they have given only weight. So we need to take, since concentration, molarity is proportional to weight by molecule, that is number of moles. And how to calculate number of moles? Because molarity is proportional number of moles by volume of solution liters. Since volume is not given, so don't consider. So molarity is proportional number of moles. We can take number of moles. How to calculate weight by molecular weight? Directly we cannot take weight of substance directly, weight by molecular weight, because two different substances. So rate of disappearance of oxygen will be equal to 20 grams per minute, and rate of formation of sulfur trioxide is 100 grams per minute, because they are given. First we need to write the weight equation. So weight equation means minus differentiation of oxygen by dt minus only sign will keep is equal to, since the stoichiometric power of sulfur trioxide is 2, sorry, coefficient of sulfur trioxide is 2. So it is equal to 1 by 2 differentiation of sulfur trioxide by dt. Since molecular weight, molarity is proportional to weight by molecular weight, we can take directly molar number of moles. So number of moles of oxygen is equal to 1 by 2 number of moles of sulfur trioxide as per the weight equation. So X by 32, this X value we don't know, and we know value of oxygen is equal to 1 by 2, 10, 100 by 80. So I hope it is clear. So you'll get oxygen is equal to 20 grams per minute. So answer is 20 grams per minute. Next question. Next, the activation energy of a reaction is 58.3 kilojoules per mole. So they are given what? Activation energy. So energy, activation of energy is equal to 58.3 kilojoules per mole. And the ratio of rate constant at 305 kelvins and 300 kelvins is about R is equal to. So is about R is equal to 8.3 kilojoules per mole. Anti-log of this value is given. Now they are asking ratio of rate constant at 305 kelvins and 300 kelvins. So we know the relation log of K2 by K1, the rate constant of second rate constant and first rate constant, is equal to K2 becomes 305 and K1 becomes 300, is equal to energy of activation by 2.303 R into log of, no, no log here. This is, so log of K2 by K1 is equal to energy of activation by 2.303 R into T2 minus T1 by T1, T2, temperature in kelvins. Since they are already given temperature in kelvins, so you can write. So the ratio of rate constant, this is the rate constant. And finally, you'll get the answer in log. So to convert them into log, we have to change into anti-log. So definitely the answer should be around 1.4678. They have given the log values. So answer will be for this question number 13. Let us solve this question number 13. So log of K2 by K1 is equal to energy of activation is given 53.58.3 kilojoules, means into 10 to the power of 3, because we have converted them into joules, by 2.303 into R value is 8.314, which is already given, into T2 minus T1. T2 value is given how much? 305 minus T1 is 300 divided by 305 into 300. So by solving all this, you will definitely get the value of 1.5. So log of K2 by K1 is equal to some value you'll get, that you have to change into anti-log of 0.677. It is equal to 1.468. They are already given. So it is approximately 1.5. So this is the answer. So after finding this value, K2 by K1 is equal to anti-log of this value, anti-log of above value, after solving this. So I hope it is clear, this type of questions you'll get in the examination. Next question. For x changes to y, K T per, so they are given temperature coefficient is equal to 3. If the rate constant 300 kelvins is Q per minute, at what temperature rate constant becomes 9 Q per minute? 9 Q means definitely it should be, so 300 kelvins, 300 to, for every 10 degrees C, rate constant increases twice. So if the rate constant is 2, then we'll get 2 power 2 is equal to 4. If the rate constant is 3, they have already mentioned the temperature coefficient. Here you can see the same model we have got first question also. So this is called temperature coefficient. If the temperature coefficient is equal to temperature coefficient of rate constant is equal to 3, they have given it is equal to 3, then automatically, so 300 kelvins is Q per minute. Then how much, at what temperature rate constant becomes 9 Q, means it is almost double, because 3 square is equal to 9. So it should be definitely 10 degrees, 10 kelvins rise of temperature. So from 300, it should be increased to 310 310 degrees, 10 kelvins. So definitely the answer should be 310 kelvins. For 310 kelvins only, it becomes 3 square, it is equal to 9. But they have not given 310 kelvins. So convert them 310 kelvins to degrees C. Let us see. So 310. So 310 kelvins means it is minus 273. Minus 273, because 273, 0 degrees C is equal to 273 kelvins. So we can take minus 300 minus 273, it should be 47 degrees C. So answer is 47 degrees C. I hope it is clear. So they have given if the temperature coefficient is equal to 3. So if the rate constant at 300 kelvins is Q per minute, then how much, at what temperature the rate constant becomes 9 Q per minute. 9 Q means definitely should be 3 square. 3 square means increase in temperature should be 310 kelvins, because for every 10 kelvins or 10 degrees rise of temperature, the rate constant doubles. The rate constant doubles. So here the rate constant is doubling. So the temperature coefficient is 3. That's why it is doubling for 10 kelvins. It is doubling for 9. So it should be 9 Q per minute. So, and for that case, 0 degrees C is equal to 273 kelvins, and 310 kelvins, you have to convert them into degrees C. So it is becoming 47 degrees C. So answer is 47 degrees Celsius. Very, very typical question, but it's very simple also. I hope it is clear. Next question. Question number 15. Sucrose decomposes in acid solution into glucose and fructose. According to the first order kinetics, rate law with T half is equal to 3 hours. What fraction of sample of sucrose remains after 8 hours? So they are asking after 8 hours. So they have given half-life. Half-life is equal to how much? 3 hours. So T half is equal to T 0.5, or T half is equal to 3 hours. So you know the formula, amount of substance left, amount of substance left is equal to A by 2 whole power n, where A is called initial concentration or initial amount, by 2, and n is equal to number of half-lives. Number of half-lives. So, but here they are given 8 hours. For 3 hours for 1 half-life. So 8 hours will be 8 hours will be how many half-lives? So you can take that into consideration and you'll get the answer. So since 8 hours they are given, so it should be definitely more than 2 half-lives, less than 3 half-lives, more than 2 half-lives. So it should be A by 2. That is, initial concentration is sucrose decomposes with half-life. What sample after left after 8 hours? So they are asking after 8 hours, how much is the concentration left? So it should be around approximately 0.158. How? Because initially you take 1 by 2 whole to the power of 2.5. Exact, because it is equal to how many half lives. So for 3 n is equal to for 3 hours n is equal to 1. For 8 hours n is equal to how much? 8 hours means n is equal to 2.5, like exactly. 3 also 2.7 we can take. So if you take like that, you'll get 1 by 2 whole to the power of 2.7. It is coming approximately 0.158. So answer is 0.158. I hope it is clear. So this is the formula for finding the amount of substance left after n half-lives. So how many half-lives here? Number of half-lives. Number of half-lives means again n value is equal to approximately less than 3, greater than 2.5. So let us take n is equal to 2.7, because for 3 half-lives it should be 9 hours. For 2 half-lives it should be 6 hours. But it is exactly 8 hours. So it should be 2.7 approximately. So I have taken 1 by 2. Initially I have taken 1 gram of sucrose. So 1 by 2 whole to the power of 2.7. So for 3 hours and half-life is equal to n is equal to 1. For 8 hours, how many half-lives? So n is equal to 2.7 half-lives. So 1 by 2 whole to the power of 2.7. It is coming approximately around 0.158. I hope it is clear. Next question. 50% of first order completion of a first order reaction takes place in 16 minutes. So T half is 16 minutes. The fraction would react in 30 minutes from the beginning is. From the beginning they are asking. Very, very important question. So let us find out this type of questions are most important. I'll tell you shortcut also for this type of question. First we'll see normal one. So for first order reaction, always you know T half is equal to 0.693 by K, implies K is equal to 0.693 by T half. So 0.693 divided by T half is given how many minutes? 16 minutes, 50%. So 16. So 0.693 by 16 is equal to K. And now they're asking the fraction would react in 30 minutes from the beginning. From the beginning, how much fraction? So till here it is already 50 minutes. Sorry, 50% is over. 50% means, so in this way, K is equal to how much? 0.693 by 16. 0.693 divided by 16 is equal to K. It is coming around 0.04 approximately. 0.043 approximately K value. Now, by substituting this, T half is equal to 2.303 by K into log of 100 by 100 minus X is equal to, they have given 30 minutes. T is equal to 30 minutes. So in this case, you have to find X. So it is nothing but T is equal to 30 is equal to 2.303 by 4. K value is given how much? K value is given, we have found out already, 0.043 into log of 100 by 100 minus X. From this, we have to take an X value because the amount of substance decomposes after 30 minutes. So after solving this, you'll get the answer approximately. Let us take the answer now. It should be approximately 1 by 4. You can select, check it out. 75% of the reaction is completed almost. So it is 1/4, means 1 by 4th of reaction is completed. You can just check it out. So I hope it is clear. At least now, like this question, this is the long method to find. Now I'll tell you the short method for finding first first order reaction. So you can note down this, very, very important. T50 is to T75. So 50 means T25. Actually, I'll not write like this, T50, T75. I'll just change it. 50. In 50, half is how much? 25. In 25, half is 12.5. In 12.5, half is 6. 12.5 half is how much? 6.25. So in 6.25 half is how much? 3.6.25 divided by 2 is approximately 3.75. 6.25 divided by 2 approximately 3.125. So till here I write. Now for the first order reaction, the rate of reaction is in the form of like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Means what do you say? For example, this 50% is completed. So till 50 is how much? T50. 50% is left. And is now this is 25% is left, means already how much is completed? 75. So T75. So they are in the ratio of 1:2. It means we can say for 50% of the reaction is, suppose if the 50% of first order reaction is completed in 15 minutes, then 75% of the reaction will complete in 15 to the 30 minutes. So if you take like that, 16 minutes, 75% means 32 minutes. So approximately 30 minutes means 1/4. I hope it is clear. Like this you have to mention. For example, I'll tell you here now, very, very important concept. So T50, T725, you remember this ratio. So they are in the ratio like this. So this could be taken as T50 is to T75 is to T87.5, that is equal to 3, is to T93.75, because 6.25 means 93.75 is finished. So the ratio 1:2 is to 3:4. This is the shortcut method. So T50 is to T75 is 1:2. T50 is to T87.5 is 1:3. T50 is to T93.75 is 1:4. So for example, if the time taken for the first order reaction, if 50% of first order reaction, 50% of first order reaction is completed in 1 hour. Our first order is completed in 1 hour. Is completed in 1 hour. Then how long it will take to complete 93.75%? Then how long it will take to complete? I'm writing another question for your understanding. To complete 93.75%. So in this case, then the ratio 1:4. So answer is, for this case, it is equal to 4 hours. I hope it is clear. So this ratio, please remember, and always T50 is to T99.9 is, T99 is 1:10. I hope it is clear. So answer is 1/2. Sorry, 1/4. Next question. The half-life of first order reaction is 100 seconds. Now, what is the time required for 90% of the completion of the reaction? As I told you, half-life they have given. Again, I'm showing here 100 seconds they are given, T half. So T50, again I'm writing the equation, is to T75 is to T87.5 is to T93.75. Then the ratio of 1:2:3:4. So it means T87.5 is 3 times. So it should be greater than 3 times and less than 4 times. So answer should be greater than 3 times, less than 4 times is they are given options. So answer should be, it should be greater than 300 because it is 3 half is 100 seconds. So T87.5% means time required for the completion of 87.5% is 300 seconds. But they are given for 90%. So it should be in between 300 to 400. So answer is 333 finally. 400, 300 to 400 because 1:3 and 1:4. So 100 3 times is 300, 100 4 times is 400. So it should be 333 seconds. So in this way you can do shortcut. If you want to do the same question in different pattern, you can do like this. Since T half is equal to T50 is equal to 0.693 by K, implies K is equal to 0.693 by 100. Now substituting the value of K in this equation, so time taken by the reaction to complete 90% is equal to 2.303 by K, that is integrated equation for first order kinetics, into log of 100 by 100 minus 90 because they have given 90% is completed. So like this also you can find. So that is equal to 2.303 by K value is 0.693 into 100. 100 is going to numerator into, sorry, log of 100 by 10. 100 by 10 means 10 is at 10 times. Log 10 to the base 10 is 1. So final answer is 2.303 into 100 by 0.693. That is the time taken for the reaction to complete 90% from integrated first equation. So it is equal to how much? It is equal to 333 seconds, even if you calculate this, but it's a lengthy method. So for complete exam, you can go for shortcut method. So it is already we know T50 is to T75 is to T87.5 is to T93.75. For first order kinetics is very, very important. It is only applicable for first order reaction. Is in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3 is to 4. So if T50 is to 1, then T93.75 is 4 and T87.5 is 3. So since T50 is given 100 seconds, this should be 300, this should be 400. So answer should be exactly, since they are not given exact percentage of this, so they are given in between these two. So it should be in between 300 to 400. The option in between 300 to 400 is only 330 seconds. Even after solving this also, you get 330 seconds. So either you can use this method or this method. I hope this method is useful for you for your exams. Very, very important. I hope it is clear. Next question. Question number 18. 20% of first order reaction is completed in 50 minutes. Time required for the completion of 60% of the reaction is. So since they are given 20% and 60%, so as it is not matching our values, so you can use the formula. So 20% of first order reaction is completed in 50 minutes. So 50 is equal to 2.303 by K. I'm writing it neatly. So you already know T is equal to 2.303 by K into log of 100 by 100 minus X. This is the integrated equation for first order kinetics. Now in the first case, they are given 20%. So T20, 20% in 50 minutes. So T20, that is equal to how much? Time taken by the reaction to complete 20% is equal to 50 minutes, which is equal to 2.303 by K into log of 100 by 100 minus X. 100 minus X means 100 minus 20% is completed, no? So 20% of first order, 100 minus 20, still it is 80 left. So from this you can find K value. From this what you have to find? You have to find K value. Next, after this. After this, then second case what you have to take? T50 is equal time taken by the reaction to complete 60%. So 60 T60 is equal to this we have to find directly. So 2.303 by K, the K which we have found from this value, log of 100 by 100 minus 60. So you have to say the value of K, you have to substitute in second equation. So this is first equation. From the first equation, what you'll get K. And second equation, you'll get, from the second equation, you'll get time for the time taken for the reaction to complete 60 minutes. So 60%. 60% means 100 minus 60. So I hope it is clear. So this way you have to find like this. So the answer is 205 minutes. You will get the answer is 205 after calculating this. Suppose if you want to go for shortcut method for this, but we have to take at least 50%, at least 50% or 75% if you know, we can do it. But this is, we cannot apply shortcut method for this because they have given the values differently. So 50, 20 and 60. So it is approximately 205 minutes. I hope it is clear. Next question. So from the first equation, what you'll get K value. Substitute the value of K in the second equation and find out time taken for the reaction to complete 60%. And they are given already time taken by for the reaction to complete 20%, that is equal to 50. So 50 is equal to 2.303 by K, the log of 100 by 100 minus 20. So you'll get the answer like this. I hope it is clear. Next question. 99% of first order reaction is completed in 2.303 minutes. What is the rate constant and half-life of the reaction? Very, very simple. Rate constant, if you find, you can find out half-life. So directly you can use the first order kinetics reaction. So 99% they have completed means here you can say first we have to find rate K is equal to 2.303 by time taken. Time taken for the reaction to complete 99% is, so 2.303 again, because the time taken for the reaction to complete 99% is given 2.303 into log of 100 by 100 minus 99. So by using this, you can take out this and this gets cancelled. Log 100 by 1, that is 2 log 10. 2 log 10 means log 1. So K is equal to 2, because this is 1 time. So this becomes log 100 by 1. 100 by 1 means log of 100 by 1 means log 100. Log 100 means log 10 square. Log 10 square can be taken as 2 log 10. 2 log 10 means log 10 to the base 10 is 1. So K is equal to 2. Since K is equal to 2, we can find out T half is equal to T 0.5 is equal to 0.693 by 2 K. So that is equal to 0.693 by 2. So you'll get approximately 0.3010. So answer is 2 and 0.3465. So option is 2 and 0.3465. I hope it is clear. Next question. Out of 300 grams substance decomposed as per first order, how much will remain after 18 hours? 300 grams they have given. See, the same question which you have done already. So here we can do like this. Amount of substance left is equal to amount of substance left. Amount of substance left is equal to A by 2 whole to the power of n, or A naught by 2. A naught is called initial amount. So initial amount is 300 by 2 whole to the power of n, where n is called number of half-lives after 18 hours. So they'll become each half hour is 3 hours. So n is equal to 6 here we can write. Why? Because n is equal to, for 3 hours, n is equal to 1. For 18 hours, because n is equal to 6, automatically n becomes 6, because number of half-lives becomes 6 hours. So 300 by 2, that is equal to 300 by 2 is 150, 150 whole to the power of 6. So 150 whole to the power of 6. Actually, they have given 300 grams. Yes, 300 grams. So 150 whole to the power of 1 by 1 by n. Sorry, it is 1 by n. So 1 by 6. 150 whole to the power of 1 by 6. 150 whole to the power of 1 by 6. So it becomes approximately 5.6 grams. I hope it is clear. Now summary of the chapter, very, very important. Let us write what we have done in this chapter. First, we have done how to find rate, writing rate equation. Rate equation writing. Second one, and how to find average rate, and also instantaneous rate. Instantaneous rate. Second, what we have done, rate law and order of reaction. Third, we have done molecularity of the reaction, also integrated rate equations. Integrated rate equations for different order reactions. And fourth, we have first order kinetics numerical. First order kinetics numericals, along with half-life, decomposition, etc. Fifth, we have Arrhenius theory, and collision theory of reaction rates. Collision theory. Reaction rates. So these 5 topics we have done, all the 5 topics. Fourth fifth is most important. You'll definitely get question, and also second. So concentrate more on this and remain. This is only 1 star, 2 star. I like 2 star here, but 3 star is most important. So I hope it is clear. So very important chapter. For every competitive exam you are going to get these questions. So I'm doing we have done all the possibilities for this. So next we are going to discuss new chapter in this chapter. So I'm completing my session. So please work out what we have discussed in the class in this video lectures and work out more on this. 100% you will achieve success. Thank you all.